Well, hello, everybody. Good evening and welcome to the historic 750 Formula Donington Park preview show. Yes, this Sunday we're back in action and we're going to be bringing it to you live as well. Now, if you're not particularly au fait with the historic 750 Formula, or you are, but you just want to have a little look as to the type of thing that you can expect, here's a little look at some of the action and what you can expect this Sunday. It's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, yes. Oh, this has got my juices going right now to help me through matters this evening. As you can see, I've enlisted the help of some friends from the historic 750 Formula. I've got Graham, Charlie, Trevor, Lyndon and James on the show. Lyndon, first of all, how are you this evening? Are you well?
I'm well, thank you. Just hoping you wouldn't come to me first.
It's a very soft intro. There you go. It's out of the way now, Lyndon. You can relax. Graham, how are you this evening?
I'm really great. I love the video. It's got me really excited about the weekend, so I can't wait.
It has for me. It's the noise, isn't it? My word, it sounds good. Charlie, it's great to have you on. How are you?
I'm just great, thank you very much, Ian. And like everyone else, looking forward to Sunday after all the lockdown we've had to suffer over the last 12 months plus.
It's been a pain, hasn't it? But we're back. Trevor, great to see you over there as well. How are you this evening?
Yeah, I'm very well. Looking forward to Sunday, as is everyone. Yeah, just hope it doesn't rain.
We're going to touch on that. We're going to touch on that in a little minute, aren't we, James? And of course, great to have you as well. Last but by no means least, how are you?
Oh, yeah, very good indeed. Looking forward to Sunday, and looking forward to the rain. Actually, believe it or not, I shouldn't really say that, but what a leveler it will turn out to be. So yeah, let's crack on. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about rain then, because actually, amongst you, there's 3 Class C drivers here, isn't there, and 2 Class A's. Graham, Trevor, Lyndon, your Class C, and Charlie, James, your Class A. Now, if there is rain, as you just said, James, we're expecting this to level the playing field somewhat. So is that what you think is going to happen?
Well, we had a very interesting race at Snetterton last year, and it certainly did bring the sort of Class A and Class C totally together. I mean, qualifying was very interesting. Everybody came back in the paddock and couldn't believe what the result of the race on the first race. It really was wet, and Class A cars were really at the front of the grid and performing very well and showing a clean pair of heels to quite a few Class C cars. I don't know whether it was just a question of pushing it or not pushing it, but I do remember a few comments after. I think Lyndon did one, but never mind.
Well, you know what I've got to do now, James, don't you? I've got to go to Lyndon and go, Lyndon, what was this comment? Because Lyndon, of course, you're Class C. So where are you getting beaten by the Class A cars?
Well, me and James did have a bit of a battle around Snetterton in the wet. I do remember strictly going under the bridge, trying to take the inside line. And I thought in what I perceived to be a slightly slower Austin 7 that James would give in and let me through. But his Austin 7 had much more grip than me, and he kept his foot in, made the line much tighter than I expected, and much more exciting than I expected on the other side. but we both got through, and James in front, if I recall correctly.
Indeed, it was. Yeah, it was good fun. I do remember you saying afterwards, "You didn't let me through. You didn't let me through."
And why should he? Why should he?
Often in the dry, of course, the Class C cars can outhandle the Austin Sevens, quite a lot around the bends. But the supercharged cars like James drives down the straights are pretty much equally as quick as the Class C machines. In the wet, then leveling the handling makes a big difference to the race.
Indeed, it does. Yeah.
Well, let's come to you then, Trevor. Are you on Saturday night? Will you be doing a rain dance, or will you be praying for sunshine?
No, I'm the Class C, which means I race the Reliant engine car, a bit more modern than the Class A's than the Austin 7 based cars. So, as Lyndon says, we expect to be quicker than the Class A cars, but certainly not. No, in the rain, it will sort out the men from the boys. And I think also we shouldn't forget that some of the Class A guys are superb drivers. At Snetterton, we were shown up not only by the handling and the speed of the cars, but also by the skill of some of the Class A guys. It really was something to behold.
Well, either way, it's going to make for fantastic viewing. It really is, isn't it? Charlie, you're obviously Class A, so you'll be doing a rain dance, and I take it.
Well, maybe not. Actually, I'm quite the newbie to this sport. I took up racing as a retirement challenge. So I've actually done very few wet races, frankly, and. The handling of Austin 7s is very pre-war, very, as you would expect. The Austin 7 was introduced in 1922, so the fundamentals of the car are nearly 100 years old. And post-war, people, played around with all kinds of exotic innovations to improve the handling, most of which didn't work. And my car's one of them. So you've got to get used to opposite locking and drifting around corners, all of which is a bit new to me. So I'm not sure which side of the fence I fall on, to be honest.
Well, the beautiful thing about the weather is that we don't have a say in it. So it's going to be what it's going to be. Graham, let's just come to you very quickly. Obviously, Donington, either in the dry or the wet. It is a bit of a challenge, isn't it? There's plenty of opportunity out on the circuit and plenty of challenging moments around Donington. Have you got a lot of experience around Donington? I
haven't actually. I'm a bit like Charlie. I'm new to the game, and I was just thinking what Lyndon was saying there about James not backing off. And when I joined the club, the comments were, well, yeah, we're all friendly, we're all mates, we all help each other out. Yeah, we all back off, and it's just a good day out, and that's the same until the lights go out, and it's all full on race stuff, certainly around the first corner. So yeah, I'm a bit like Charlie. I'm learning the ropes. I've not been to Donington before, so I'm trying to remember all the lines in the dry. Well, of course, in the wet, it's all different, isn't it? So it starts to confuse me about where I should be on the track. So I'll be following James actually and getting some tips and hints off him and seeing how he slides around the corners. But it's good fun, I think. What's really great about it is, it is competitive when the lights go out, but it's also very supportive as well. And I know Lyndon had lots of support on the last race, didn't you, at Cadwell Park to get you back on for race 2. So that's the sort of thing I really enjoy. So for me, it's Donington. It looks like a fairly fast. I did Google it actually when I heard it was raining, and when you go into Google and it says Donington is horrible in the wet. It said it's one of the slippiest tracks out there. And you used to get planes going across it. You used to dump fuel on it. Apparently, I don't know if that's true or not, but I thought Snetterton was pretty scary for me. So I'm hoping it's going to be really hot and sunny and dry. That's what I'm hoping.
I think every track's pretty scary in the wet, isn't it? You touched on there. Sorry, Graham. You touched on there about Cadwell Park. Of course, Donington is not the first race of the year, is it? You were at Cadwell Park. Was it last month or the month before? And Linda, we're just chatting there actually. Race 1 didn't quite go your way, but race 2 certainly did, didn't you? But you finished on the podium.
Yeah, so we did have a really good weekend at Cadwell. I mean, we started off the season with a fantastic grid, which is really important to recognise in the challenging times of COVID, everybody is still going racing. I had some challenges. It was a new car to me, used to be driven by Nigel Howard, so I wasn't that familiar with the car. I'd done all the right things, all the rolling road, all the setup, and was ready to go, and got there, and in practice the car overheated significantly, so I got very little practice in. Realised it was the head gasket, and to represent sort of the atmosphere of the Formula we're in, I came into the paddock and everyone says, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" I said, "Head gasket." "How do you know?" I said, "It just is. Get the head off." And suddenly there's a whole load of people around you. There's bits flying. There's people running around the paddock to get spare parts for you. And by race 2, we were back out. And I think I was running in about 5th, having a really good battle with a chap called Tim and his U2, 3 side by side up the mountain, which is quite a challenge. And fortunately for me, but not for them, a couple of people DNF'd and relegated me 3rd.
Hey, podium's a podium. James, how good was it to be back at Cadwell, just to be back racing again?
Yeah, really fantastic. I think it was just needed it after months and months and months of lockdown and God knows what. You just being able to escape for the weekend and get out there and just have some fun, meet some like-minded people again, and enjoy sort of banter and chat and God knows what. And watching Lyndon trying to get his car finished was really, interesting.
Yeah.
And just getting out there again. That's what it's all about, really. Just getting out there and enjoying it, which is what we all did, I think. So yeah, very good.
Absolutely. And of course, heading into Donington on Sunday, it looks like spectators are back. Is that right, Charlie?
Well, I think Lyndon's probably got his finger on the pulse on that, but I believe in a limited way, isn't it, Lyndon? Spectators?
So spectators are allowed at Donington. They are very welcome. They can get tickets through the website. They're kept out of the main paddock area. And of course, as a club sport, which we are, usually non-COVID times, all the spectators can come into the paddock. They can see the cars. They can meet the people. They can have a chat. This weekend, they can see all the racing, but they can't get access to the paddock. So, of course, we will look forward to a time in June when hopefully the rules are released a little bit. And we can get all those people back into the paddock to see what the cars are like.
Fantastic. So, and Trevor, the historic Formula cars, they're obviously open, aren't they? They're not saloon cars where they've got roofs, etc. So, does having crowds there make a big difference? Can you see them as you're whizzing past?
You certainly can, yes. And I'm notorious for being distracted by the crowds and by barbecues and things like that. I've come in after qualifying at Donington, actually, where they sometimes have raves and things like that down at the far end under the airport part, and came back and said, "I can smell a barbecue." And my team members say, "You're not supposed to be smelling barbecues. You're supposed to be qualifying towards the front of the grid." Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, but it's like that. It's great. And you can pick up people. You can pick up the photographers sometimes. Jonathan Elsey, I have to mention him. He's a brilliant photographer, and you can often spot him up on the embankment. And I have waved at him before. And he has managed to. He's caught me waving, and there's the yearbook. James Winstanley, the editor of the yearbook, has put a rather scathing remark about my attention to detail and being distracted by things going on around me. So if you get a chance to look at the yearbook, you have a look at that.
Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out now. All looking now and see in my head is you just doing that, driving along at 100 miles an hour.
A bit more subtle than that, but basically I'm not paying attention to what I should be doing.
I must second that with regards to Jonathan as well. He's also a really, really nice bloke as well.
He is.
So certainly looking forward to that. Now, look, let's get into Sunday and the timetable for Sunday as well. Quite an early start, 9:10. Here we go. Let's just have a quick look at that. So 9:10 is it says practice. It's actually qualifying, isn't it, chaps? Then at 1:35 we've got the first race, and then 4:00. The second race as well. Of course, we're going to bring you all of the action live as well. Do look out for exclusive paddock walks as well. We're going to get closer to the action. We're going to catch up with the gentleman we've got with us right now as everything is going on as well. 9:10. Who's going to have bacon sandwiches ready for us then?
Sounds good.
Oh, is that a bribe?
Yeah.
I thought I'd get it in early, just to
Yeah,
see.
right. Okay.
Well, I mean,
You.
unfortunately, we usually have hospitality. I'm sure Lyndon will go on. We'll talk about that. But usually we have hospitality. But obviously, due to COVID, we haven't got it. But otherwise, yes, there would be bacon sandwiches, and and it would be good. But we hope to have that back. I think for August time, Lyndon.
Yeah, I think the race after this one, hopefully, we'll be back to normal and get back to the usual setup. And I think, as James said, the hospitality, the bacon sandwiches and stuff, what contributes to that friendly atmosphere in the formula, that there is a go-to place for everybody else that's not racing.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's fantastic, isn't it? And I love seeing that, because that is what motorsport is about, essentially, isn't it, as well? And this is what we want to bring out a little bit on Sunday as well, and show people the racing is one side of it, isn't it? And as you've all said, actually, everybody's so nice, everybody's so friendly inside the paddock. Of course, when you get out on the track, you want to beat each other, but you want to beat each other fairly,
Absolutely.
But then afterwards, it's handshakes and, well, it's elbow pumps at the minute, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's all smiles, and everybody helps each other, and that's just what we love to see in motorsport, isn't it, Charlie?
Yeah, and I think also the fact that most of us do a fair amount on our cars ourselves, and so the swapping of advice and industrial espionage as to what someone else has fitted over the winter is all part of it. That we're basically driver mechanics, and so we're learning from each other all the time. And especially when somebody's got a head gasket gone, for example, everybody mucks in, and so that aspect of it really appeals to a lot of people too.
Graham, I've got a question actually. When you go to the assembly area and you're sat there, and I find this fascinating. Do you guys still get nervous? Let's start with you, Graham. Do you get nervous when you're sat in the assembly area and you're about to go out on track and you're about to do battle with everyone?
I certainly try not to. I think it's one of those moments where you get everything ready, you're all organised, and then you're sort of relaxed, and then suddenly there's a mad rush to get to the assembly area. So there's a bit of a get your seatbelts on and all that sort of stuff. But I try and sit there really and just really enjoy it. Really, I love the historic side of the formula, and one of the reasons why I got into it was that my uncle used to race in the 70s in the same formula, and a couple of years ago I was at Donington Park, and I actually saw a car that I helped him build in 1970 still racing, and Richard Pry has that car now, and that was the reason I got into it. So I love when we get to assembly area, I just love to watch and see all the other cars and see the difference and the variety. And I often think about the history, about who's been driving the cars in the past, how many trophies they've won, and then I try and get into the frame of mind, thinking, right, I need to try and remember what I'm doing here. What's the circuit? Where am I? So it's probably not any time to get nervous. I don't think. I think it's just get on there and get into it and get in the zone and enjoy it.
See, I love that the history side of things that you're talking about. And on Sunday, if you're watching this now, wherever you're watching this now, you can watch all the action again on Sunday. Do tune in, because we are going to delve deep into the history of this incredible championship, because it really, really, really is. Trevor, what would you say is why should somebody watching this right now, as if we haven't given enough reasons already, come and race with the historic 750 formula?
Well, we're just ordinary blokes and ladies as well. So we're not specialists. We're never going to be in Formula One. We're very grounded people. We've all led fairly straightforward, ordinary lives, and we just love it. We get into the racing. I started racing when I was in my early 20s. Gave up for many years, and then came back to it about 8 years ago. My son encouraged me and said, "Why don't we go 750 racing?" And he's only in his 20s, and he occasionally races as well when he can. And so it covers a very large spectrum of people, from their 20s to I think the eldest is somewhere in their 80s, aren't they? And and it's as you said, a gentleman's sport as well. There's no shoving and barging, and we really respect each other on the track and like each other as friends off the track. So it's a great formula to be in, and I would recommend anyone who was interested in racing to look seriously at what the way we work and the way we race and what we do.
Trevor, why don't you tell them what your son does for a living?
My son, who I'm immensely proud of, is at the moment he's at Monaco. He's Sebastian Vettel's mechanic on the energy recovery system side of things. So he works for Mercedes-Benz and is contracted at the moment to Aston Martin. Has been for a couple of years. He was with Racing Point last year and Williams the year before. And he's just an ordinary lad from an ordinary comprehensive school in Banbury. He's had no particular benefit over anyone. He's just an ordinary kid who's been encouraged. He's seen me race and he went from there. So it's possible, anything's possible.
It's passion as well, isn't it? And this is what I love about it. A lot of it is you just need passion a lot of the time, and if you're then prepared to put the graft in, you can achieve anything, can't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, so let's just move on very, very quickly. I know you gentlemen have got a lot to prepare for the weekend, of course. Scrutineering this weekend, Lyndon, is it still virtual scrutineering?
Yes, this virtual scrutineering was introduced at the beginning of COVID, obviously to keep everybody safe, both drivers and the MSA or MSUK now staff. And so what we have to do is you're always accountable anyway for your own safety car checks. So we have to fill out a log basically with the safety standards and of the equipment we carry, fire extinguishers, seat belts, helmets, suits, stuff like that. And then the club choose some cars at random. So they'll choose a selection of 3 or 4 cars, and those 3 or 4 cars will be scrutineered. And obviously the idea of that is those surprise inspections, keeping the standard up and making sure everyone has prepared their car safely. I actually was a little bit concerned about it when we first started, if I'm honest, but it's proved to be work out quite well. And I think it also means we do get a little bit of a line in the morning. So when we do these early starts, 9 o'clock practice, scrutineering might be 7:30. And a lot of us drive up the morning of the race when we can. So a little bit of more of a line Sunday than we had 2 years ago.
Okay. So now I know why virtual scrutineering is. So it's nothing to do with COVID. Everybody in the UK just wants a line. Gentlemen, I can't thank you enough for giving up your evening to chat all things historic 750 Formula. I've learned a lot. I've had a wonderful time as well. But I tell you what, I'm really, really excited for Sunday. If anybody's watching this and they do want to find out more about the historic 750 Formula, there is a link in the body of the text wherever you're watching this right now. Click it. It will take you straight through to the historic 750 Formula website, and you can find out even more information there. If you have a question or anything, comment below or head over to the historic 750 Formula Facebook page and we will pick it up there as well. Gentlemen, thanks so much this evening. I really, really appreciate it. Lyndon, Graham, Charlie, Trevor and James, I will see you all on Sunday bright and early, not at 7:30 for scrutineering though, because you don't need to do it. And for one final time, here's a little look at what you can expect on Sunday. Gentlemen, thank you very much, and everybody, thank you for watching.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers.